phenomenal, and so the change has been massive and undeniable. I'm glad to not feel like a crazy person all alone with my mate trying to convince everybody that this is the way that we should be eating, and that I'm not imagining that I'm reversing people's diabetes, and that I'm not imagining that their blood pressure is coming down, and that taking them off medication is necessary, not just something that I feel like doing. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of the things in the low carb mission, or I don't know, revolution, I think that's the best word for it, is there's lots of comparison for Māoridom in terms of questioning authority in society, and so for us fighting for things, especially for our whānau and iwi and hapu, and it comes naturally. Kia ora, I'll stop talking now.
Kia ora koutou, kua huihu mai nei tēnei ata. He uri aho no Ngaitahu ki te Waipounamu. Ko Lily Fraser toku ingoa. I'm from Ngaitahu, which is my marae both based out of Dunedin, and I was born down there but moved up to Auckland as a kid. I'm a GP at Turiki Healthcare in Māngere, and like Mae said, we started around the same time, and one of the first information evenings we came to was here. I figured it out by accident because it just made sense. So it made sense that if you have diabetes, you shouldn't eat carbohydrates because you can't process them well. And I had one particularly motivated patient who was very, very interested in nutrition and kept on bugging me about which were the vegetables that were going to make him improve his diabetes. And I was like, well, I don't think the vegetables are the issue, I think it's the carbohydrates. And so on a whim, based on common sense, said, I think you should eat red meat and green vegetables. And 3 weeks later he came back off his insulin, and 4 months later he came back kind of half the size he used to be, and we took him off with medication. And so then I had to find out more, and somehow through Facebook Grant's name popped up, and so knowing nothing about Grant or AUT, anything Human Potential Centre, I made an appointment, and Dee emailed back and said, okay, come and meet Grant at this time. And I turned up and he flicked his little book across the table at me, and I was, oh, look, it's a real thing, and there's research to support it. And so that was pretty much no looking back from there, and I spent a really great year learning as much as I could through YouTube. And so it's great to meet you, David, because you're one of the people that I watched on YouTube. That's how I got my education, but it was really great last night to see how PreKure has created this amazing education program, and so we're really excited about the fact that it's just so much more available than just 4 or 5 years ago. So because we're in Turiki, which is in Māngere, very high Māori and Pacific population, very low income and difficult to access dietitians, we do it all ourselves. So we run a low carb support group, which we live stream onto Facebook, which I know some of you watch. We do our own cooking classes, and all our staff are on board with low carb, healthy fat, and we've designed our own resources in conjunction with AUT to be Māori and Pacific friendly. So that's really, we've done it internally, and it's completely changed my way of practicing medicine for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Kia ora.
What we've got you to there, one thing that I think is very interesting is a massive objection to this approach, especially for the communities you work in. It's like, well, that's all good for the rich in the green leafy suburbs, but actually it's not possible to feed yourself doing this way. It's not affordable. It's going to create more social inequality. What do you make of that?
I see people that actually have $30 a week to live on for food, and so when I'm talking to those people, my focus is really different. But for most of my patients, they are having some kind of protein, some kind of vegetables, and some type of carbohydrate every day. And so really the conversation is talking about identifying carbohydrates, removing those, so in theory it should be cheaper, and fasting. And so when you combine those two things together, the logic says it should end up cheaper. And so I just really don't feel like that's an argument at all. I think it doesn't matter, particularly in New Zealand. We are very fortunate that our meat is grass-fed, right? So we're not so hung up about that side of things, the quality. There's great markets in South Auckland, lots of fresh produce, and so I think actually it's very achievable, and I do have patients on benefits who do this easily.
coming from the Bay of Plenty, you know, like, you know, a staple diet for my grandparents would have been boil up and things. You're feeding large amounts of your whānau, nice fatty soup that's filling and easy to make. I come from a dairy and beef background. We had our own animals. My koro had a big garden in the front yard. You know, I felt really guilty not being able to garden. I can only grow grass and weeds now. But then I've come to realise people don't even know how to use an oven. You know, it's ridiculous. And Joseph is the patient that Lily's talking about, and he's been phenomenal. He's got 6 kids, and 5 of them live at home with him, and he could feed his household for $150 a week. So it's eating in season, which we should be doing for the planet. It's looking at, you know, you can have a really gourmet, delicious thing, but which I do like my food. I find it's quite ironic that fasting's my preferred way to do this way of eating, because I really enjoy eating, but I fast to be able to enjoy it more. It doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. And so I said to patients, I only eat once a day now, you know, as opposed to 3 full meals. That's much cheaper than what I used to have, and I'm much more satisfied. And quite frankly, you can't afford to be sick, and you can't afford to die at age 50, because that's the sad reality of it, is that they're dying. Their children are left to either look after them in the lead up to them dying, and actually if we get creative like my grandparents were, you can feed a whole lot of people on not very much money.
Can I just say, from the benefit, and on this thing of eating more cheaply rather than being accused of, oh, it's good for the rich, but the local butcher